Let's get to the agenda, and at the top of it, Tom Lynch will answer at the tribunal tomorrow night for a wild afternoon at the MCG. 3 charges in all. The headline acts for his roundhouse strike that will have the AFL seeking the biggest suspension of the season.
Oh, Lynch is in a lot of trouble here.
Oh, Tom Lynch has absolutely punched butts in the back of the head. That is shades of Barry Hall from years ago.
Oh, what's Lynch done? Oh, dearie me.
He's lost his head here.
Tom Lynch.
Lost it.
Wow. You're going to have to get him off.
Oh, he's lost the ball.
Oh, he has lost it dead set. Get the boy off.
No excuse with his response, but I can understand his frustration. He apologised to the group because he knew he let him down.
I didn't want to cause harm or anything like that. I was just trying to get free or whatever, and frustration came out, and it's not good enough as a leader. I was just more frustrated with how he's defending me, I thought. And clearly he was within the rules because no free kicks awarded to me, and I went outside the rules, so yeah, I've got to be better.
No, I'm not standing here copping this. Please. I'm not standing here copping this.
Why not? If it had have made contact, he would be serving 8 weeks.
He's going to be out of the game for a while.
That will be a big talking point. He will get weeks for that. We haven't seen anything like that in years.
It was a rare and ugly moment, and it demands serious consequence, and that will happen at the tribunal tomorrow night. So, Joey, there are a couple of possibilities here. There was the provision within the way that the laws are written that the match review officer could have given Tom Lynch 4 weeks and just summarily handled it like that, but he has referred it directly to the tribunal, so that gives you the indication that the AFL will seek greater than 4, and 4 is the highest suspension of the season so far. I also think there's the layer of it belongs at the tribunal. There should be a level of accountability for this, not just signed off behind the scenes. Is Lynch fronts and answers for his actions, and the judicial system gets to say is, if you land this in the way that it was thrown, this is Andrew Gaff and Barry Hall territory. So those are 8-week suspensions, and I think in this environment it would have been higher. So I anticipate that they'll seek 5 tomorrow night. 3 charges throughout the course of the afternoon. You're on duty. I always think if you've called the game, you've got a great feel for it. So the first for the wrestle, which costs him $3,000. There's a striking misdemeanour there, so it doesn't cross the threshold, but it earns him a fine. And then the headline act. Just as it was unfolding, what did you sense?
Well, you sensed he had the red mist going. He was right on a fine line. He was already giving away free kicks. I think he'd given away 5 free kicks before he'd had a disposal, and you could sense the frustration building. To be fair, I don't think anyone would expect to see what we saw. That caught everyone by surprise because, as we said during the call, we haven't seen anything like that for years. I think it was 2018, might have been the Gaff incident. So it was surprising, but there was no doubt it was bubbling away. And I just wonder, I mean, the coach has come out, and he's come out and said it was the frustration, probably the way that he was getting treated from Jordan Butts. I wonder whether there was a frustration about his own fault, how he was playing, whether there was a sense of embarrassment and frustration that he couldn't touch the footy and it just got too much for him and he lashed out, and he's going to pay the price. There's no doubt about that. And it's going to go to the tribunal, and I'm with you. I think that's the right call. It's just going to be interesting that whether, you know, is there in a world where the lawyers weave their magic and they can, you know, get this downgraded. So the AFL could have taken the 4 and not had the opportunity to challenge, but you think it's okay to go to the tribunal and get it?
It's the right principle to go and ask for 5. Say the tribunal comes back with 4, you go, well, the league did its job. Yeah. So the provision around the risk of causing injury is usually one category. So this is a rare moment. It moves from medium to high to severe, and then it goes beyond the minimum of 3 around severe. So this is the stretch goal for a stretch moment. Yep. And I do think the whole industry needs to do its job here, and that's the tribunals not to get beguiled by the lawyers. Yep. Is the right level of punishment is a confronting one. So Nash gets his 4 weeks for the roundhouse on Myers, and the ball is there. Like it's agricultural. The ball is there. This has to be the biggest suspension of the year for what it might have led to. I also think with Lynch, it's an interesting moment. It's highly unlikely he's going to play in the next successful Richmond team. They're doing exactly what they should be doing at the moment, and it looks like they're going to run out of puff in the back end of the season. So he's going to have to find a way to manage all of this. He's going to be the key forward in the last of his years in a team that is not going to be instantly successful. He's going to draw attention. He's going to have to manage this for the remainder of his playing days. And if he can't, he probably needs to get out of it.
It's a good point. I mean, this is a highly competitive player who was in premierships and in great sides. He has to completely change his mindset now. It's not going to be like it was. He can't let the frustrations boil over. He needs to start thinking about the team instead of himself. That is his role in the side now. I still felt, up until yesterday, I know how poorly he played, but he did have a role in that team to help the youngsters, the Jonty Falls and Armstrong when he plays, to guide them through. But you're right, he needs to change the mindset completely about what he is going to expect and what he needs to expect from himself. Otherwise, you're right, maybe he says, you know, if it's too hard for him, put his hand up and say, maybe I can go to a contender for another year or two if he thinks he's got it in him. But he's going to have a lot of work to do on himself and his leadership around the club too, because they're all looking at him. That's what these young guys are looking for, and he's let himself and the team down.